we are back live with Bob Chapman, theinternationalforecaster.com. Your calls are coming up. We've got Dar Jamal, reporter for Counterpunch and other major publications, who has been inside Iraq and give you the latest developments there. Is it really a troop drawdown or build down, as they Orwellingly call it? But Bob, when you first got on the first 5 minutes, some stations don't carry that, so I wanted to have you start back over with your breakdown of the $23.7 trillion the White House admits has been taken. Congressmen this week in banking hearings, we've posted the clips up on the websites, InfoWars and Prison Planet, have been asking where'd the money go, including $500 billion to foreign banks at least, and Bernanke won't say where it went. You were explaining this is a purposeful implosion of the economy to feed everything into the system, the carbon tax. We now have the bill passed the House to regulate every facet of life, home inspections. The feds can kick you out of your house, no judge, no jury, asset forfeiture, seizure, seize any industries they want. It's already happening. Bankruptcy laws are being overthrown by the executive, by fiat. This really is America-ending, nation-ending type stuff, as Congressman Gohmert said in the last hour. So break down the master plan, what you see the enemy doing from your deep research, and then we're going to go to calls.
Well, it's a full court press is what it is. And they've gone for broke. If you remember, during the Second World War, the Japanese-American soldiers, they had a patch go for broke, and I had a pair of dice. But anyway, for those of you too young to remember that, it's a little bit of history.
No, I've seen it in newsreels, but go ahead.
Okay, well, you've been observing. But anyway, this come down, this breakdown of the international financial system has been all planned. And what they're doing right now is stealing. They're stealing money. They're printing it with no collateralization whatsoever, and they're allowing credit, and it's going to banks throughout the world and brokerage houses and, in some instances, insurance companies. So that they'll all stay solvent. Yes, they'll owe loans that they can never pay back, but they'll be solvent. The rest of everything else is going to go down, with the exception of gold and silver. And that's why they have continued since 1988 in a big way for the last dozen years to suppress the prices of gold and silver, because they are the canary in the coal mine, so to speak. And when gold goes up, people think something is wrong, and they're right. Now, it has gone up, but it should be selling gold for anywhere between $2,500 and $33,000 an ounce. But getting back to what they're doing, they are funneling money everywhere. And when Bloomberg demanded where did $2 trillion go to, which is inconsequential now in the scheme of things, a federal judge said to the Fed, where did it go? And the Fed says, well, we can't tell you. It's a state secret. That was the beginning of this. Now, I projected at the beginning of the year for the numbers I was seeing, and then changed my figures on the way up to $14.8 trillion. And, of course, we saw the $23.7 trillion that was presented to Congress last week. So I underestimated. I was conservative, but that's okay. It's so bad, it's unbelievable. And, who knows what the real numbers are? I mean, they might be 50 trillion or 100 trillion for all we know. All we know is they won't tell us where it's going. And it's being funneled into their supporters, so to speak. The bankers, the illuminists, the brokerage firms, the insurance companies. They want them to survive in this new world corporatist fascist state. And this is what they're heading for. And I'll tell you something, Alex, referring back to what you said earlier in the program regarding the other host, particularly Savage, the reason they're doing what they're doing is we are forcing them to do it because we are scooping them. We've got the whole thing nailed, and they want part of it for their ratings, and that's why they're doing it.
Okay. Michael Savage, Reichstag fire event warning, New World Order manipulation. And so are you saying this because they realize that we're going to end up winning, or why are they suddenly talking like this, Bob?
Well, as I said, we scooped them, and their ratings are dropping. and they don't know what to do other than, so to speak, join us. And that's economic survival on their part. The United States government, in time, they've created their own opposition from time to time. And but that's not the case here. I mean, there is an opposition. And so they're not, sometimes they'll create propaganda instruments. This is one of them.
Well, I mean, have you seen the clips of Sean?
Down the lines of what we're doing.
Yeah, have you seen the clips of?
Been stealing it too.
Have you seen the clips of Sean Hannity, where he says, "Oh yeah, the conspiracy theorists are right. It's a new world order. They want to set up a bank of the world." See, all these years, it was their job to tell conservatives, none of this exists. There is no CFR. There is no New World Order. 2 years ago, I'd get emails saying, you're a nut. There's no plan for a cap and trade tax. And then suddenly Time Magazine, Newsweek, Times of London, hundreds of publications come out and say, Bank of the World is good. New World Order is good. Global planetary government is good. So now they can't deny it anymore. They've got to play catch up and come out and say it's all real. I mean, I agree with you. That's what I know is happening.
Well, it is. And I think you're going to see more of it. And this steamroller could run right up against the people who are running things. And I've said this on the show before, Alex. I think they're terrified. They never expected to run into this kind of resistance. These programs are reaching all over the world. It's not only America that's being infected with the truth. It's people everywhere. I mean, we get subscribers in Kazakhstan and Hong Kong and Taiwan and Chile and everywhere. We're winning, and they're scared. And believe me, if they march the military out to try to do things to us, the military's not going to follow unlawful orders. They're just not going to do it. And
unless
if they bring in foreign troops, those foreign troops are never going home.
Unless they have drills from Missouri to California, from Texas to New York, which we've confirmed they're having. Mainstream news, the Army has writers writing articles for mainstream news explaining, the militia is going to try to attack and kill the military, so we're doing drills to fight the militia. And, at this drill, we practice militia attacking a security checkpoint, in the hill country of the Ozarks. That's in the news as they role play with local police and citizens that, the Army's here to attack the militia because the militia are terrorists. They're preemptively seeing where the resistance is coming from, and the DHS reports we broke here and the MIAC reports we broke here state the number one threat and what Homeland Security and Northcom is set up for is taking on former military and returning vets. Then we get the New York Times where they're training youth brigades. I mean, you can't make this up, folks. I'm not making it up.
Well, did you
training to take on the veterans. Training to take on gun owners.
I had a piece in there about a letter to one of my subscribers who sent it in, and I reprinted it, about them going into a VFW post, I think it was in Louisiana, and demanding all their records. This is the Pentagon. And the guy that was running the show there, 86-year-old crusty ex-gunny, says, you got to be kidding me. You're not going to get them.
Well, yeah, we've confirmed that story.
Here, I'll have them destroyed.
We've confirmed that story. We've confirmed that with the VFW nationally. That's happening nationwide.
Well, it should be a sign to everybody who's got a half a brain out there that you better get the Cosmoline off your AK and AR just to make sure. Because the Army and the Marine Corps, they're going to need us. They don't want to fight us. I mean, they're us. We're Americans, so aren't they? They are not going to follow unlawful orders. And if they bring in foreign troops to do that, they'll be liquidated. And another thing, too, which I don't know whether the Illuminists have thought about this, but let's say you ship in the whole contingent of military people from Mexico, just as an example. There's 100,000 of them, okay? They all get liquidated. In the same time, the government gets overthrown in Mexico because there's nobody to protect the criminals who are running the country. I mean, you know, if you're going to play chess, you got to think ahead.
Well, that's why they're going to use PSYOPs. That's why they're going to stage attacks on troops, engage in activities like that, so that they can kind of demonize the resistance and sell the military on doing it. I just don't think it's going to work because we've preemptively gone out there and reached out to everybody so they know these type of dirty tricks the establishment plays, Bob.
Absolutely. And don't you guys and ladies out there get sucked into any conflict. You only move when you're shot at. And you can form your own little groups, just, you know.
Oh, yeah. They're going to have cop killers out sniping cops and sniping military when the inner cities are burning down places because the welfare checks didn't come.